Okay, y'all.
Yeah.
It's finna go up today, y'all. Finna go up today, y'all. No Other Way Media Podcast. You got your boy G9 in the building today.
Miss Only One.
Boy down, aka Sensei. Talk to me, I'll talk about it.
We got a great guest in the building, but we don't want him to introduce himself just yet because we got a ritual that we do on my show.
Let's do it.
And first of all, man, we want to thank you, man, for coming to sit with us, man, and let us into your world today, man. You could have been anywhere in the room here with us. But before we get started, man, we got a ritual that we do on here where we celebrate our guests by giving them this bottle.
Okay.
And letting them bust it open. But today, we're going to let you take this with you and, share it with your wife unless you want me to keep it and take it home. And,
don't give me that.
So while you grabbing on to that, man, let the people know who tuned in, who we got on No Other Way Media Podcast.
All right, first of all, man, appreciate y'all having me. I'm Sharmain Harris. First and foremost, I'm a father, husband, community leader. I'm a man of God, business owner, real estate investor.
Talk your stuff,
What
man.
else, y'all? A student. I'm a professor at the University of Parkside. I do a whole lot, man.
Right.
That's a nice portfolio.
That is nice resume.
Hey, man, so where you from and how was your upbringing?
So it's kind of weird. I'm from Racine and Kenosha.
Why do you gonna say
Makes
that?
sense.
But the people ain't know.
So, I mean, for the people looking in Wisconsin, I spent the early parts of my life in Racine. Grew up over on the north side. And then I finished school at Gilmore. And then I moved to Kenosha about ninth grade. I'm 35, so that's where I'm from. How was my upbringing? I don't know, man. I hate to say it's your typical, stereotypical upbringing, man. Dad was in prison early part of my life. Mom's single mom, 5 kids, 4 different dads. Only ones had the same dad was the twins. Grew up rough, at the earliest points of my life, 9, 10 years old, remembering gunshots and police sirens and, early initiation and smoking weed, having sex, at the age of 12. It was rough coming up, but I'm glad, kind of overcame some of those things.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Hey, so when was your introduction to the street and what led you into the streets?
Let me see. Introduction. I'd say one of my earliest memories is when I was about 11. I walked around the neighborhood on my birthday asking for dollars.
Right.
You know how we do it. It's
my birthday.
It's my birthday. I know if y'all like
true.
me, everybody needs to stop everything.
Yeah.
It's my birthday, even now at 35. But I was going around the neighborhood asking for dollars, and I remember one of the guys that you consider a big cousin or a big uncle or something. He ain't give me no dollar. He gave me 2 bags of dope.
Wow.
Right, and he said, stop begging people for money.
Right.
This how you make money. And it really didn't hit me like that right then and there. And I didn't go off into selling drugs at an early youth like that, but a seed was planted.
Right.
And then eventually it took root later on in my life. So, around that same time, you growing up with a bunch of kids in the neighborhood who don't really have a male guidance or positive male guidance.
Yeah.
And we off into everything, stealing, doing everything you can think of at the early level. And then eventually, you hit your teens and late teens, you start getting money, and then things get a little sticky.
Yeah. Can you explain to the people what led to that? Led to your incarceration?
The incarceration?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Or wait, let me back up. How soon between that seed or that introduction,
Okay.
how long did it take, in your opinion, based on?
So, I went through a situation where my mom lost custody of me. My dad got out of prison. He said it was his mission to get me in his custody. I'm his oldest child, but I'm the only one that don't got the same last names as my brother and sisters on my dad's side. So he's the reason why I moved to Kenosha.
Okay.
And so that's when I really got some like structure in my life. But, you know, that's when I'm like 16, 15, 16 at that rebellious stage.
Yeah.
You know, tried to buck up against my pops one time. And that's
How'd
when I
that go?
found out what grown man energy is.
Okay.
So
Don't help me, help the bear.
Realize you was young.
Yeah. So that's when I realized I need to tighten up a little bit, but kind of still, you know, I was smart, you know, with school and passing grades with flying colors, but I just still had that behavior piece instilled in me from my Racine upbringing.
Right.
And I would say when I was about 20, because I finished school, I graduated, I even went to college right after high school to play ball up in Stout University.
Nice.
But when I got there, I just didn't feel it. Like it was predominantly white school. I ain't nobody in my family ever been to college. So like I couldn't call and ask questions about how do I go about this and financial aid and the guidance counselor. So I made up an excuse in my head, this too tough, and then I came back. Okay. That's when I got involved in the streets heavy. And then 2009, I was indicted in Kenosha on 3 counts of selling, manufacturing cocaine. And so I got a year in the county, but if I was to mess up, I would face 10 years.
Oh, wow.
So I did a year, got out, and within a year, I had messed up again. And then I went back, and then this time I would have been going to prison.
Okay.
So, of course, you definitely went to prison because we bump heads on that journey. So what promoted the change within yourself while on your journey?
Yeah.
While you was incarcerated, what took place?
I think I just got to a point where you kind of have this.
Let me stop you.
Go ahead.
I know what happened. Them chess games. I mean,
Oh, come on, man.
let me dust off. And the county promoted a change in you, man.
Yeah, all right. Y'all ain't know I used to beat on him in chess. I actually taught him how to play chess. You know.
Hey, he wished, but no, go ahead, boss. Go ahead.
But you know, it was one of them things where it wasn't the environment. Right. You know what I mean? You know, you go through. I had my fair share of fights in there. You know, you see I'm 6'3", 260. I was probably 300 back then. But I can handle myself, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't that. It wasn't, you know, the food. It wasn't the mistreatment of the guards. It was, you know, when you sitting there at 3 a.m, laying on your bunk, and you like, man, I got to spend 5 years in here.
Wow.
You know, and then you're around people that's like, you tell them you got 5 years. I remember a cat saying, oh, that ain't nothing. That's a small time. And I'm just looking like, this cat crazy.
Yeah, I agree. It's a lot
5
of time.
days is too much. 5 weeks is too
definitely.
much. 5 months is too much. So you go through that process, man, and then it really starts to like challenge you and change you. And I'm a big man of faith. Yeah. I started to tap into that Bible hard and started to learn about Jesus Christ and, you know, all of that stuff. And that really started weighing on me. And my dad's a pastor.
Okay.
So he would come up and pray for me and all of that. And, you know, that's when I really started to, that was the genesis of the change.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, name some struggles and hardships you had to face while transitioning and what is now your current lifestyle.
So it's this thing called reentry. You know, I don't know if y'all know what recidivism is. Mm-hmm. It's the rate in which people go back to prison.
Yeah, the cycle.
It's super high. It's upwards of 70%. So what are the challenges people face when they come home? You know, not being able to get a job. You know, because of a felony background. You know, it was a big movement called Ban the Box because every time you go apply for a job, you got to check that box that say you're a felon. When you go try to get an apartment, you know, if it's through a property management company, you got to check that box and you're a felon, they're going to throw your application in the garbage.
Right.
So dealing with all of that, man, was a challenge as I was trying to transition. And so those was more of the external things. Internal, we know peer pressure is a real thing.
Yes.
So I always say, like, when in the process of change, you got to be careful about who you're around, because you might be scared of your change, but other people are more so scared of your change because they can't have access to you like they used to. They can't talk to you like they used to. They can't, call you up and have that same conversation like they used to because you starting to change.
Right.
But a lot of people fall to that pressure. For example, a guy coming out and he tell you now, like, man, I'm about to change. I'm about to do this, that, and the third. He leave you. He go around 8 other guys that be like, what? You going to classes?
Clowning them, right?
You going to groups? Them white folks really scared you, huh?
Right.
And so, like, those are the internal things inside you that you battle. Like, dang, I want to be down with the boys still, but I know I can't behave that way because it lead to prison.
Right.
And a lot of times the guys you're around, they ain't been up top yet. They might have been to the county and all of that, but they ain't been there. They ain't spend them long nights in jail with you. They wasn't in there for 6 months and ain't hear from nobody, none of their family members. They wasn't trying to make phone calls and wasn't no money on the phone. Right. They wasn't in there battling with people who ain't got no money on their books, who tend to be the most savage while they in prison. You know what I mean? So all of those things were some of the struggles I faced when I was trying to transition when I got out.
So you basically you wanted to ban Dooney and focus more on
Yeah,
Sharmain.
yeah.
So
It's literally that angel and devil type
for sure.
conversation on your shoulders.
For sure.
All right, them struggles so real, and I'm sitting here listening to you talk. I really can relate because I'm too a part of that recidivism rate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I checked out your videos and stuff, man. And sit back and you kicking some real stuff.
Yeah.
How you sit there late at night wondering like what's gonna happen next.
Yeah.
How I'm gonna climb my way up out of this hole. Coming home, trying to make this transition.
Yeah.
Of getting back into quote unquote positive member of society, and it's a struggle.
Yeah, because it's not the norm.
Right, right. And so the struggle becomes so real because this is something that you're not actually comfortable with making the transition and change. But the struggle is real.
I'll say this too. One of the things that really helped me was, so I got sentenced to 5 years, but they gave me access to the military boot camp program.
Okay.
And so I did 6 months in that and shaved off 2 years. So I technically did 3 years total, the year in county, then 2 years when me and you ran into each other. But in the boot camp program, man.
What was that like?
Physical training every day. Had to run 2 miles every Friday. Any little small infraction, you getting smoked out. And then after you get done with the physical training, you got to go sit in what's called intense therapy or group therapy. And you got to sit up straight like this the whole time. Your body dead. You ready to fall asleep. But if you go fall asleep and you nod off, you got to do more exercise.
Oh, Lord. Is that like an infraction? Was that on a list of infractions?
Falling asleep in group?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you couldn't do nothing in there. You couldn't give somebody a cough drop. You run the risk of getting kicked out.
Wow.
And so that's where I really just started to get it because, no TVs in there like prison. So I'm really just reading all day long. And, dealing with most of the sergeants was like former military. And so they like, pain is only weakness leaving the body. Like all of these little small little sayings they used to say really stuck with me, and it gave me that grit and that discipline to stay focused when I got out.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So check this out. So if you could give your old self and some youth and even some adults some advice to assist them mentally to stray away from a lifestyle of Noah, which is drugs, selling, streets, what would it be?
Give advice. it's a lot of people who got what I call untapped talent. And, you know, most of my work recently has been on the fatherhood, right?
Right.
And reentry. Those are like my two main focus. But what I realized is that I'm catching them on the back end, you know, after they committed the crime, after they had the child at 17, 16, you know, 18, girl and boy. But recently I've been feeling convicted, like how to catch them on the front end.
Yeah.
So that I can speak to them into schools or whatever and talk to them about whatever before it happened.
Proactive.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and be proactive. So even the
reactive.
word reentry,
Okay.
right? Reentry, you know, coming out of something. How about no entry?
Exactly.
How about preventing them from going in the first place?
Right.
Yes.
And so to your question, it's a lot of kids or people that just have this untapped talent in them, but they don't know how to pull it out.
Right.
They don't know that they really got a gift.
Yeah.
I think that's where me and you kind of hit it off.
Right.
Playing chess. It was about the chess, but it was really about the shit talking a little
No,
bit.
for
I don't think you ever met somebody that can out talk you. You know what I mean? If you know now, you know I'm lying.
Okay.
And so, you know, I realized I had a gift. Like, you know, a lot of the young guys got a gift of gab.
Right.
You know, you talk a female to be in a relationship with you. You talk a client into buying from you, you know. So, like, find a way to pull that out in a positive way, because most of the times we used it in a negative way. And that's where I got to a point when I realized that, dang, people make money, you know, speaking and talking, and, you know, I'm talking slick, but I just went through a process of, I think I failed to tell y'all that I graduated college with my degree in business management and marketing and got my master's degree. But that's impressive, but what the best part about it was I learned business language.
Right.
And so now I can use that language in everyday conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that advice I would give to them is like, education is the great equalizer.
Okay.
It's gonna set the playing field for everything.
Right.
And that's one thing I'm really about. Like, I don't know too many people that read as much as me. Like I love reading. Like I feel weird if I don't read a book that week. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I used to be a book a month, two books a month. Now I'm 4-5 books a month, easy.
Nice.
And
What
so-
books would you recommend? Your top 3.
Okay, you put me on the spot.
Sorry, I was just curious. I don't want you to get off the
No.
book
Yeah, I like
subject.
this.
Hold
I
on.
like
Just
this.
wanted to.
I want to make sure it's a book for the audience. So it's
Okay.
a book called The Third Door, Alex Banayan.
Okay.
So this cat hacked the The Price is Right.
Wow.
He figured out a way to win and get on stage and do The Price is Right, and then he figured out a way to go and interview cats like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and all of that. So that's called The Third Door.
Okay.
It's another one, As a Man Thinketh. It's a Bible verse that says, As a man thinketh, so is he. But the book is called As a Man Thinketh. That's 2.
Okay.
And then I would say Up from Slavery by Booker T. Washington.
Nice.
That's a
Nice choice.
He talking about, you know, his journey, and, you know, we talk about, you know, bricks and stuff we used to sell in the street, right? This cat Booker T. Washington was really making bricks.
Yeah, most definitely.
Like masonry, like
Yeah.
they really built the Tuskegee College with bricks, and he had the students help them build that foundation. So all of them was bought into that that project. But yeah,
Thank you.
That's an excellent
I'm
book.
sorry.
I
Go
had the
ahead.
privilege
Good.
to read.
Good.
Yeah, dang, I lost the question. The advice. Oh yeah.
Sorry.
So reading is huge. Education is the great equalizer. Like, you know, that's huge. And at the earliest age, like our kids suffering in reading and math.
Yes, they struggle.
You know, it's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
They not graduating at the grade level. I mean, they graduating, but they not at the reading level they should be at. So reading and math, like if you a parent and your kid is young, like read to your kids.
Yes.
If your girl pregnant right now, read to the baby in the stomach.
Right.
Like this type of stuff is education is the great equalizer. Like do your reading. You know, they say knowledge is power, and I believe
it
that,
is.
right?
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But I also say on top of that, apply knowledge is power.
Right.
Yes.
So I can read all them books all I want,
What do you retain?
but what do I
And
retain
apply.
and what do I do with it?
Yes.
Right.
And so after you read it, you know, I'm the type of cat that I'll read 2-3 pages and I'm off doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm just real big on education. As I told you, I'm a professor at the university now. And like, man, at the earliest stage, if you're a parent, get your kid, be involved in your kid's education. Don't just send them to school like it's a daycare or something.
Right.
Right.
Be involved. And if you a kid, like really listen to them teachers and your parents and anybody that's trying to put any positive energy into you. Because right now you probably telling yourself like, you know, oh, they old, they tripping.
Yeah.
They're not telling you for no reason.
Exactly.
You know, I had to tell my daughter this, like my stepdaughter, my daughter, but you know, I've been 17 before. You ain't never been 35.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
a big
They don't get it.
Right.
So, you know, that's the advice I give them, man.
Okay. So what inspired your becoming of a national, inspirational, motivational speaker, and author, and a trainer of the father engagement?
So that's where my story kind of started. You know, I went through this process where I was getting told no when it came to employment. But I made a shift in my mindset. I took that word no and created a new meaning to it. So NO for me stands for next opportunity.
Okay.
So, you know,
Nice.
I don't care who say no.
Right.
We on to the next.
Okay.
Right.
You know, so I Red Robin, and I'm working at Red Robin and factories and, you know, all of this stuff. And I just felt in my spirit something was going to crack for me. So I had my first biological son in 2014. He 9 now, and that just kind of really shifted my mindset.
Yeah.
And it was about when he was about a year, and you know, they really start looking like you. Because I still struggle when I got out. I'm not finna act like I'm perfect. Like I just changed. Like
Right.
I backslid a lot, smoking,
Process.
selling, guns, all that within that first year. But once my son came, that just changed my life. And then he literally changed my life. I was taking him to a WIC appointment. Y'all know about WIC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
When
So,
infants and
yeah.
children.
He said, most definitely.
From the trenches.
Unreal.
Trenches, baby.
Yeah.
We trenches, baby.
Bugs
Okay.
need that milk. And the little fruits
And
with
that juicy juice.
Yeah.
That boy been taking that baby. That boy been taking that baby juice.
Cheese, we need all that. Kick cereal, let me get that.
Look at that baby juicy juice, man.
But yeah, man, when he was about 10 months, I went to the WIC office, and I was there for an appointment because, you know, my wife had work, and I was out of work. So I went to the WIC office, and I met this lady, and, you know, she told me about this fatherhood program they was trying to do. And so I'm just excited to be a father. I wanted to know as much as I can.
Absolutely.
So she promoted this flyer to me, told me she had been promoting it for a while. If I came, they was gonna give us a gift card and some free food.
Some incentives.
You know I'm there, right?
Right.
I'm making $9.50 an hour.
Yeah.
And I'm out of work, so I'm like, I need that. But I showed up to the event, man. I was the only cat that showed up,
Wow.
right? So that's when I kind of took action. The boss came in, and she was sad or upset about it. And I just told her, like, you know, I'm from the community. I got ties to a lot of fathers out here. Like, I can help.
Nice.
And so, to my surprise, she said yes. So I had my event, and I had over 25 fathers come there.
Wow.
Right? But you know who they was, though, right?
Yeah.
Who?
From the trenches, baby.
all the guys that I used to run with.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But now I was in the process of making change, and it was believable, though, because I had been consistent.
Yeah.
Right.
Like over some time. And so all the guys came up in there, and then that was for free. But that's when the boss was like, man, we got to get this guy on. And so I waited, and then eventually I got on part-time, and then eventually got on full-time. And then in the first year, I had over 100 fathers go through the program.
Nice.
Wow.
And so,
We got it.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
So, you know, word got out about what I was doing. ran into made a connection with the DA. The DA heard my story. He wanted to help me out. He got me taken off parole 4 years early, and so that was a big newspaper article called
Nice.
"Making the Change." But I say that to say that's when all the guys really started coming.
Right.
Okay.
Like they can care less about fatherhood.
Right.
No,
They trying
sure.
to get that magic. But I'm like, you got to do the work. And so while at that job, to your question, they would have me going and speaking. One of my first speeches was in front of 600 people. And I'm so scared. I'm talking about I'm trembling, and I don't know what to wear. I had on a Nautica hat and a polo, but I was supposed to come like how I come now.
Right.
But my boss was like, "That's what you wearing?" I called my wife like, "Man, this lady tripping. Like, talking about my clothes. You should see what she got on."
Okay.
You know what I mean? But I did that speech, man. I wrote, "I can do all things through Christ" on the back of every piece of paper that I had. And that story that I told at that first speech is the same story or variations of it that I tell up until this day, that I use. And so, and I stayed at that job from 2015 to 2020. I left and branched out. 2018, I started my speaking company.
Nice.
Because what I realized was when I would speak for the job, it'd be a list of speakers, and they would be able to get paid, something called an honorarium.
Right.
But I couldn't get paid because I was on the clock. So I had to just get my $40. So in 2018, I'm like, oh, I got all this PTO saved up. I'm going to put myself out there as a speaker, and I'm going to use my PTO to go make $2,500 in one day, where I would only been making $250 in one
Yeah.
day at the job.
Oh, okay.
And
Right.
so that was 2020 or 2018. Left my job 2020,
Nice.
and then I've been on my own since.
Okay. That's really impressive.
Yeah.
How does someone get to have you come to an event and speak? Like, how does that process work?
So my website is SharmainHarris.com.
Okay.
It's a booking page on there. Or reach out to me on all my social medias. It's just Sharmain Harris with an S, SHARMAIN, Harris.com or Sharmain Harris, all my social medias.
Okay.
And you can reach out to me like that.
Nice.
Hey, you almost you touched on this question.
Yeah, he is.
Answer already. But what I wanted to know is that, like, you know, because I don't know the DA personally down there, but I've been watching that cat on TV.
Oh, yeah.
He's an animal.
Yeah, he is.
He's an animal. And as I was watching your video, I seen the little clip with him sitting there saying the process that he went through to go talk to the judge, be like, hey, we got to get this guy up off this paper, man. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, he did some amazing stuff. And as I continue to watch the video, I peeped what it is that you did. But my question is, like, how did that make you feel, and what impact do you think that had on your continual rise?
Man, it was amazing, man. I forget the scripture, but it say, God will put you in front of mighty men, and things will start happening for you. And so it was a validation, not like for me,
Right.
but like for the people,
For others.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
so like that is possible.
Yeah.
Change is possible.
Yeah,
That's
to
right.
your point, I think he said that was the only time he did that.
Yes, he
or he
did.
only did it one time
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
And he been around 20-some years.
Right.
And so I even had to struggle with that, like with the guys, like now they think I'm working with the police.
Yeah.
Come
You know what I
on,
mean?
man.
Like,
Crazy.
but as a man, I know who I am.
Right.
So I know it was bigger than me.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't about me at that moment. It was about the story and the transition, and what he really did was just put his stamp.
Right.
You basically got like a pardon, like a pardon, huh?
Oh, no, I got a real part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
I told you about that.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Really?
I
I
watched
got a
the journey.
real part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And go ahead and talk about
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I got taken off parole 4 years early, right? And so when it comes to getting a pardon, you got to be removed from papers for 5 years
Right.
with nothing, right? And so then you can apply. So because I got off early, that was 2016, I became eligible in 2021. And so I applied. ASAP. And it took about 13 months. But in December of 2022, I received a full pardon and had all my rights restored by the governor of Wisconsin.
That is
Drop the
awesome.
bomb.
Yeah.
Like really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No more chains on your boy.
Wow. That is great.
Been to the gun range a couple times.
Okay.
Test
Hey,
it
look,
out.
just rub it in, would you? Rub it in.
Yeah.
Definitely believe in the Second Amendment.
Okay.
Oh,
Legal.
man.
You know what I mean?
That's what's up.
So you are a husband,
Yes.
a father. How did you strive for change, traveling the world, father's engagement, and find time for family in your personal life?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie.
Balance.
It's a struggle, you know, but I've designed my life in such a way that I can almost do both. And so or have my family be involved with it so much that it don't seem like I'm away from them. Like anytime you hear me speak, you're gonna hear me mention my wife.
Right.
I speak about my family for a living.
Right.
Yes.
You know, and so while I'm out, you know, I recently had a 7-city tour in September.
That's nice.
And while I'm there, I'm just constantly calling my wife. I make sure everything's set up for her, you know, in terms of rides for the kids and, you know, so she can still do what she got to do.
Still performing your duty.
Yes.
I'm still performing.
Yes.
You know, I'm a triple threat with
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can pass, dribble, and shoot.
That's right. That's right.
But I'm
Renaissance, man.
I'm a triple threat husband too.
Okay.
That's
Because that come first, and don't
Right.
get me wrong, it ain't always perfect. You know, the wife get a little down,
But it's
sometimes.
doable.
But when that check clear,
Everything all right?
No, that's
oh,
right.
the bills paid.
You okay?
Don't worry about
Yeah,
it.
man.
You know,
Talk to me, man.
that's a
Alright.
nice little fee to get me to come see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, watching your video, right? You know, a lot of things you said that really stuck in my mind, right? And one was like, I remember you saying integrity is doing the right thing, even when the wrong thing is easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that for us, man?
man, bruh.
Cause it's easy. I know.
You know, I say this.
That's
man,
deep, though.
You know how easy it is to like do wrong
Yes.
or be bad. Let's say it like this. You know how easy it is to be the bad guy. You know, not take care of your responsibilities. Out here, you know, doing whatever, going in and out of prison. You know, that's easy, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to be a good man? To be a good, like, the struggles and all of that? I know, man. I've been in shootouts. I've been in prison. I've been in gangs. I've been in fights. I've been around for a long time, like in the street.
Right.
Ain't none of that as hard as being a husband
Okay.
Right. Talk to me. I'll
and a
talk
good
about it.
and a good father.
Talk to me.
And
I'll
like
talk
staying in my kid's
Right.
life and you know, like protecting your kids, like not just physically,
Yeah.
you know, watching what they watch on TV, like the influences and all of that. Like I try my best to be involved in everything. My son been playing sports since he was 5. I've been his coach since he was 5.
Okay.
Right.
Basketball and football.
That's nice.
Right? And what I try to
Absolutely.
do is cultivate those friends on the teams to those the ones you're gonna play with.
Yeah.
Or who can spend a night or you spend a night at their house, like somebody who's I see their parents like putting them in something. But, you know, as the quote says, integrity is doing the right thing even when the wrong thing is easier.
Yeah.
But that is so hard, man. And you know, that's why even in my ministry, even with the fatherhood work, what my ability to engage the fathers and engage was the men was my ability to understand it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to come off as like, you know, I don't know, Jesse Jackson type stuff, like pull your pants up type. You know what I mean? But because I understand it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the guys gravitated towards me because they like, he know.
Right.
Yeah.
Been
You've
there
experienced
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Been there before.
Yeah.
It's the best
And-
teacher.
So we can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of dudes out there that's like, they want to transition, but they haven't found a way to do it.
Right.
I'm telling you now, man, when you do it, it's going to be so many people cheering for you, but you ain't going to be able to hear it because of the people that don't want you to change.
Right.
Their voice going to be a little bit louder because you love them.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
But there's going to be people that really want to see you change. Think about like the big dogs, you know, whoever.
Right.
I ain't going to say no names, but if that person wants to like say, this is what we doing now, you're going to get at least 20 of them to come with you.
No.
Right.
And so that's literally what I did. I changed, hundreds came.
Right.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Not saying everybody like still, you know, people had their ups and downs, but like
Right.
they've been exposed to something different.
Right.
And that's all we can do is try to expose people to something different and, you know, try to continue doing the right thing.
Yeah. You got a very influential word.
Yeah.
And you got a following. So could you tell the people, the listeners, right, like why is it so important to take heed of the advice of positivity instead of following the negative influence of people?
Yeah, that kind of goes back right into what I was just saying. That even though that positive energy or positive advice, I think they avoid it because it hurts sometimes. You know, as a father, like I'm trying to tell my son or daughter like something positive, but they know it's right.
Right.
You know, but they just want to rebel against it.
Rebellious.
They want to be their own person. But the Bible says there is safety in a multitude of counsel. There is safety in a multitude of counsel.
Yeah.
And so you got to surround yourself with the positive people. But I think so often we get caught up in this image that we try to portray, and we slip off into the wrong negative following. And I see it all the time. Like, I think, what was it? T.I. son,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
King
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got your family telling you this, and you know he's still trying to go the other way. What he don't realize is that in the streets, like if he ever it'll never happen, but if he ever got the shackles took off him completely, brothers, the savage kids in the streets gonna sniff you out,
Right.
Yeah.
and they gonna take advantage of you,
Gobble them up.
gobble you up. Oh,
Stand on business, as
Your-
he say.
Your mama gave you a car? Let me see.
Yeah.
the keys.
Right. Okay.
Crash it. Oh, that's on you.
Right.
Oh, take this charge. Hold this gun. You know, all of this. How do I know?
Victim
I used to
prey.
do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I thought I was doing the community a good service by like being reckless to the cats that shouldn't be around.
Right.
You shouldn't be around here.
Right.
I'm trying to show you, but if you want to stay, you know. But you know, back to your question. And there's safety in a multitude of counsel, and a lot of people just can't see it for some reason.
Yeah.
And I hate saying that some people got to just go through it. You know, I get it. Like sometimes the best way to go is through, but that ain't always. It's three ways people learn: through instruction, through example, and through experience. Instruction is somebody trying to tell you how to do it. It's the daddy, you know, the father or the mother, like trying to explain to you how to do it. Example is you watching me do it and saying, I can do that.
Yeah.
Experience is you going through it by yourself. They say experience is the best teacher, but you got instruction and examples out there too.
Yeah.
You don't got to go through it. Like,
Okay.
Right.
pay attention to that positive advice around you, man.
Right.
Agreed.
It's gonna help you out. Yeah.
I see a post that you made about you threw some pictures away from your, and I read what you posted about it. I was just curious as to get a little more insight about what you know,
Oh yeah, the idea behind that.
yeah, it was very, symbolic.
Yeah. So while I was in prison, like everybody else, I'm taking them dumbass pictures. to me, like somebody else might feel a different way about it. You know, it was a rough point in their life, but I'm taking them pictures and sending them home. Like, look, I'm working out now. It's like you could have been working out here.
Yeah.
You know, showing my muscles and all of that. But early on, man, I got out in 2013. I threw them pictures away in like 2015. But the reason I threw them away is I wanted to get rid of everything that attached me to that lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, you know, gold teeth, tops and bottoms, gold watch. I keep a watch. This is a different kind of watch
Okay.
now. But
More money.
Cartier frames, chain, you know, guns. I gave that stuff away. I got rid of all of it. I threw them pictures away because I just didn't want to be attached to it no more. I don't want to like being in the house. My son about to grow up and see it.
Yeah.
You know, I don't even want him knowing that side of
Yeah.
me, even though people gonna tell him so.
No, for sure.
That's the
got
reason
it.
I got rid of those pictures.
Nice. It made sense.
Most definitely.
It was very like, like burn the,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, burn the sage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
For sure. So I changed my thinking. It changed my life. Actions is predicted on thinking. Why is this important to change the way we think?
Man, I go into that book I told y'all about, As a Man Thinketh. You don't realize that it's power in the way you talk to yourself, the way you think about yourself. You know, in my criminal justice course, it's a term we use called labelism, and so you know, it's used as a positive thing. Like somebody deeming negative, you take it and turn it into a positive.
Yeah.
Like the N word, right? For example. But also other examples is you hear songs like "I'm a savage,"
Right.
you know, I'm a demon, you know, some in there a little bit. I'm a felon, you know.
Right.
You can say that to yourself so much that you begin to become the label, and you doing it because it's like before you can use it against me, I'm gonna use it against myself.
Right.
Now it can be positive, but most of the time it's negative. And you know, I'm not a clinician or not a therapist or nothing, but sometimes even with the depression and the anxiety, like you keep telling yourself, "That's my depression.
Yeah.
That's my bipolar." You didn't smack somebody and say, "Oh, my bipolar did it." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can begin to use these thoughts, and they become actions.
Right.
So that's the negative side of it. But what if you took it and changed it into positive? Even though you depressed, I'm blessed.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even though you down and out, I'm healed. You know,
Yeah.
I always say the Bible, but he said, "Let the weak say that I am strong." Let the weak say that I'm strong. Not that I'm not the weak just say it. But so many times your thoughts lead to you saying something negative, like I ain't gonna get that job. I'm a felon.
Yeah.
I'm black. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you know, don't get me wrong, racism is real, but like sometimes you can limit yourself before you even get into a situation. So many times cats reach out to me, man, I'm trying to do this. I'll be like, all right, you just got to do this, and this. Oh, the felony gonna stop me from that. But they talking to me though.
Right.
Like I'm gonna give you advice without thinking about the felony in the first place. And so what?
Right.
Do
Right.
it anyway.
Do it anyway.
Like when I got my I was selling life insurance. When I got it, at first I couldn't get my license because my felony conviction. But all the company said was send them a letter explaining everything. So I sent them the whole jacket, newspaper articles, letters of recommendation, all of that. and because of the time period, I end up getting approved. But if I was like other cats that just had this idea or this thought in their mind, like, it ain't gonna happen for me anyway, so I'm not gonna even try.
Right.
Yeah. Preconceived notions.
Yeah, so like the power is in your thinking, and then what comes out your mouth, you know, life and death is in the power of the tongue. You really gotta like mean what you say and say what you mean.
For sure.
Yeah.
Even with my son, I don't let him say, I think.
Right.
I
don't know.
Or he can't even say, sure.
No.
Son, yes or no.
Right.
Right.
That's how
Mean
with
what you
my
say.
sons. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can't say I don't know.
Yeah.
You better find out.
Right.
You can't say you don't know.
Yeah, ain't no, I don't know. So just mean what you say, mean and say what you mean, but first comes the thought, then comes the word. Yeah.
So I just want to rewind back to the commencement of everything, right? So when me and you bump heads on our journey, granted we played chess, we talked stuff, we did push-ups or whatever. I can remember back, we also had some prolific and profound conversations. When I asked you, like, hey, you know, how much time they give you? Like, hey, man, they gave me 5 years. Right then and there, without even thinking, I would bust out to you and I say, man, on this journey, man, prison gonna change you. Yeah. And Lord behold, you know I'm not a psychic. When I seen your transition, man, I always talked about it to my partner Baker. I said, hey, man, you know, this brother got a story, man. We got to get him on here. And we here today, man. And I just want to say, man, just for people that come from where we come from the trenches, you know, man, you're an inspiration, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I know I've been inspired from the moment that you start taking your journey. You know what I'm saying? I'm still inspired, you know what I'm saying, to see what you're doing. And hopefully when people see this, they be inspired as well. And I'm pretty sure everybody that got to meet you in this room today, you know what I'm saying, can contest to that as well, man. You know what I'm saying? And again, we want to thank you for coming out, man. You know what I'm saying? I wish we could have had more time to sit back and kick it with you. We normally do a thing called Gone in 60 Seconds. So for you, since you're not a rapper, none of that, I'm gonna pull this chessboard out and get on your ass.
Oh, come on. I told you they got the chess app.
No,
man.
But
add me.
so tell the people, man, where they can, because we didn't really get off into the fact that you got a book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Let the people know about that, where they can get that from. You know what I'm saying? How they can reach out to you if they want to book you for venues to come out to speak. You know what I'm saying? If you want to elaborate on that before we get out of here.
Yeah, first of all, man, I appreciate y'all. I love what
sure.
y'all doing. You know,
coming.
shining a light. I've been watching y'all work. Keep doing it, man. Keep being that platform that put stuff like this out and help other people just feel confident about
sure.
themselves
For sure.
as they see themselves growing on a larger scale. And to you, G9, I don't think you realize, like, when I was going through that process, although, like, I gotta, like, come off as not scared of going to prison and all of that, it was certain guys around me that, you know, just seeing how they was handling their situation.
Right.
And I'm like, dang, you know, big bruh, you know, he's still level-minded. We still able to have these conversations, even though we in a 6x9 cell with one phone and 12 dudes.
Right.
So, nah, man, I appreciate all the wisdom. And over the years, you know, you've been reaching out to me, not like every day or nothing like that, but once, you know, a month, every couple of months, you've been checking in with me. So I appreciate that.
No, for sure.
But anybody want to know more about me, SharmainHarris.com, SharmainHarris.com, SharmaIn, or all my social medias is Sharmain Harris. I think Twitter is Mr. Sharmain Harris. But yeah, that's where y'all can find me.
Okay, and that's a wrap, y'all.
Thank you.